You're locked on to Hans Olsen and Scotty Chin. That's
right. Yeah!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a great day. It's good to be back. I had a good time up in Logan yesterday, but it's good to be back here in studio.
Well, it was great to be here with Dave Nellis.
Yes.
Dave's such a cool dude.
Baklava.
Yeah.
You're eating baklava.
He brought in fresh baklava. It was so good. Flaky, honey, crispy goodness.
Is that close to a Portuguese pastry?
No. Nope. No, it's not. I don't even think it's in the same stratosphere.
Oh, okay.
I'd take the Portuguese pastry over the baklava, as long as it's homemade.
Yeah. And you can feel free to bring that in anytime, Lloyd.
Okay. I'll let it be. You guys aren't going to eat it. You guys really going to eat it? You going to commit? Because I'll do it. You know, Lena will do it. I just. If
she could take the calories and sugar and carbs out of it, that'd be great.
Are you giving yourself at least a cheat day or like a cheat meal?
Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
So basically, you have to be like that Robin Williams, Peter Pan, where they fake eat things. They use their imagination.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You've never seen the Robin Williams Peter Pan?
I've seen it.
Or Pan?
It's been a while. Hook is what it's called. He'll at least do the chew and spit.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't miss that, so no, it's okay.
Yeah, I do the chew and spit.
I do not miss those days.
On high-calorie items, I'll do the chew and spit. Like a Bavarian donut.
Because you'd chew and spit and you'd still be angry.
Yeah.
A little less angry, though.
It's such... when you resort to that, it's... You know you really need the flavors.
Hey, you know
but
what?
Not the calories.
But we all got to find a way to make it work. All right, so... by the way, I'm glad Lloyd's back today. Did you, just to do a little house clean, he's not even paying attention to us. Did you actually request yesterday off? Because we were under the impression you were just gone on Friday.
No, I did.
Yeah,
because even Christian didn't know you were going to be gone yesterday.
Really?
Because it felt like Monday just kind of was an impromptu.
No,
like
I'm not ready to go face them again.
I'm like I'm stuck in a country. I don't really feel like coming into work today.
You know, we don't really work.
Couldn't get the gate open.
It's easy. Nope, it's always easy to come in. I have no problem.
You didn't have a sledding accident.
A situation outside of a Maverick.
No issues like that.
You weren't going 130 with an like what? That's kind of the Monday it felt like.
Nope, it was not that kind of day. I already had it, and so yeah.
You'd had it.
I had it off. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you meant like I'd had it.
I thought you'd had it.
No,
yes.
I'd had it. No, I hadn't had it. It would take a lot for you guys to make me have it.
Do you know?
Be done.
Do you know that tweet I sent out today is?
I don't even know what tweet you're talking about.
1,000% accurate. You didn't see the tweet that I sent out?
No,
I directed towards
something?
you. Yeah. Every day when I leave for work, I get a request from my guy.
I love that kid. I really do.
And he goes, all right, see you guys. I'll be back home later this afternoon. Tell Lloyd the Raiders suck.
You think he's listening right now?
No.
No, you don't think so?
Yeah. The Broncos are the worst team in the NFL, and it's not even close. Well, at that time, it was pretty accurate.
No. I know.
Dang,
it's still
Lloyd,
it's still hearing that. It's like, man, that's.
You think a son needs to hear his dad say that? You really think that's okay? Holy
Sure
cow.
It is. It's fine.
That's sinking low.
So anyway, I took a video of Lloyd saying that, or of my kid saying that this morning, because I'm like, all right, look.
That the Raiders suck?
I can't.
Scott still has the sleepies in the eyes.
I'm not going to tell him. Oh, yeah. No, I know. We're late risers when it's summertime in the Gerard house, apparently. And although he did do 6 a.m. Conditioning this morning at Bountiful. Proud of that kid.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the videos that Scotty and I made out at the
I did. I liked
games?
them. Yeah, I liked them. I did. I liked them.
Like no response whatsoever?
Well, I didn't respond, but I did give him a nice little heart to let you guys know that I saw him.
We were working hard. We were at
guys. And by the way, I had Joey and Steph Avis call me personally like when I was gone, like they said, you guys are doing amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, guys, they said you killed it.
We were out.
Everybody loved you guys.
We survived the rainstorm. We were all about it, man. We were all in. And they do a heck of a job. John Oglesby and that crew, great job down there.
Oh, they
Utah
did.
Summer Games.
Yeah, because we had this rogue storm that came through.
Yeah.
And it soaked Scotty and I. But we decided to make a little bit of lemonade out of those lemons. And we went around, did some films, some videos, and still had a blast. Storm blew over.
Yep.
Kids came back out, and it was incredible.
How cool was that opening ceremony, too?
Oh, my gosh. Lloyd, have you seen the videos of this thing? Scotty and I what were we, like 5, 6 rows up?
Yeah.
It felt like it was 30 minutes of fireworks.
Yeah.
Just constant, just boom, boom, boom. And it was just electric.
It was awesome. They really did a great job.
And then they had all the athletes do the champions walk, and it was just awesome, man. They killed it.
I wanted to jump out there and be like, hey, my guy arm wrestles. Let him walk. He'll beat all of you right now. Are you tempted? You have to be a little tempted.
I would do age, my age appropriate. Like I would be in the 45-plus category. And
that wouldn't be much of a contest, though.
You could put me in the Clydesdale division.
You'd rip off some poor geriatric's arm.
That would be the hope. I would want to. But I just don't train it. And now I watch so many arm wrestling videos that I know that there's some real dudes out there. Have you ever seen the videos of Lariat?
No.
The world champ?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen Lariat videos? Oh, man, you got to watch some of his videos. So he's got these arms that are kind of extender arms. His forearm is like one of the longer forearms in the world. And then he's got some of the biggest hands in the world. And he just wraps dudes up and just overwhelms them. It's crazy. So I don't want to bump into the wrong guy and then break my forearm.
That'd be a downer. Yeah. All right. Phil Steele, another level of disrespect towards BYU.
Well,
should BYU fan be upset with Phil Steele?
So I am seeing all of the questions thrown out on Twitter. Like I saw Jake Hatch, and I think DJ puts out the random questions every morning, and it's like, Phil Steele has BYU at 50-something in the country. 56, was it, Lloyd, or 58?
Yeah. Steele. Phil Steele.
Don't. Not you. Don't. That's not okay what you did. Just because I took a video of my kid saying the Raiders suck. This doesn't need to be a deal thing.
Steele.
You. I've never been more disappointed in you than I am right now. You know I'm sensitive about that.
Hey, Lloyd, that's strike 3 from you.
That really is.
Yeah, you've
First
had
off,
it.
you don't tell us you're taking Monday off.
And you've had it.
Is there a penalty box we can throw him into?
I don't know, because he just chucked this whole thing up.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No, I didn't.
That's some of your best work right there.
Dude, you need to be in the penalty box, dude. Your prank on me is messed up.
I can't believe. First off, you tell Hans that all of the audio from Kyle Whittingham is corrupted, and he's got to go call Kyle and reschedule another conversation with him.
Which makes me sick because Kyle does not do double takes.
And I told you there was a moment where I thought we didn't have any audio.
There was not.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. And now you're coming at me with a deal
I'm sorry.
thing.
Move on. Let's move forward.
No, we're not moving on anywhere. You're the one that took us off track.
Get on to Phil Steele.
You can't take us off track and then put us back on track.
You can't put us on camera and not make me want to, and then do things that make me want to give you signals that I can't do on camera anymore.
I know,
because our favorite boss, Nate Dowdle, is down in his office watching us.
Love you.
Love you, Nate.
You're number one.
Yeah. Lloyd is a different number one.
Yeah, he's that second finger in number one.
Yeah. All right.
But Phil Steele put out his quarterback room rankings, his Big 12 rankings, his running back rankings, and there was one big, obvious, glaring part of what he did, and it was underranked BYU. And you don't need the questions. You don't need the cryptic tweets and questions. You can read directly into this and say, Phil Steele knows something. He does his interviews with these coaches.
Yeah. Yep.
He sits down, he does extended work and detailed work, and he knows something.
These coaches will spend, each coach, Division I coach, will spend about an hour on the phone with Phil Steele.
Yeah.
Steele. During the...
But there's no way he comes out of that conversation with Kalani knowing that Jake Retzlaff is returning and puts that quarterback room 47th in the country.
And BYU outside of the top 40.
Not a chance.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to send out the cricket. Well, what do you think, BYU fans? With the 47th best quarterback room and the 56th or 58th in the country, just barely tucked inside the top 60. Well, what do you think, BYU fans? You don't need any of that. I'll tell you what to think. He knows something.
He is led to believe that Jake Retzlaff won't play this year. Now, whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. But the impression he's getting and the information he's getting is that Jake Retzlaff's not going to play.
There's no way you take a third-year starter that was a JUCO superstar that learned in a 4-game start through the back end of 23, that just rolled off 11 wins, including a beatdown of Colorado in the Alamo Bowl for 11 wins in a season. That was 11. Is that right? Was it 11 wins?
Yes.
Geez, I should know that as a fact.
I should too.
I think it's 11 wins. Or did that put him at 12?
I think it was 11.
11.
Yeah, 11-2.
Yeah. So, you don't come out of that and look at Jake Retzlaff's production. And I get it, because you've got these people right now just be like, oh, how hard is it to replace a production of 58%? And it's like, no, it's not about that. The kid is a stone cold, cutthroat leader. He's a tough dude.
Oh, but they lost their best receiver. No, he's back. Oh, they lost their best running back. No, he's back.
Oh, they lost their second best receiver. No, he's back. And they've got a couple of others that are back.
So it's
Keelan Marion,
yeah,
Parker Kingston, Chase Roberts, JoJo Phillips. They got that. They've added a couple of tight ends. So I'm not concerned. Like, his targets and his running backs, they're all there. Now, it is interesting. Phil Steele put running backs at 53. That feels woefully underrated with L.J. Martin and Sione Moa.
Yeah.
Who I think will be the number 2 running back. That feels very underrated. So that number 53 in the country as far as a running back room, it does make you look at it and be like, okay, so does he just think BYU's trash? And he thinks Jake Retzlaff's trash? And he just puts it at number 47? And maybe we're putting way too much credence into what Phil Steele writes. Maybe we're just overthinking it. But I think that it's a statement by him.
I think it's a big deal that Phil Steele thinks this way because he finds a way to use real data and real conversations with all these coaches to come to how this guy is educated.
Well, he does.
He doesn't throw crap against the wall and see if it sticks.
I'll give you, for instance, he's got BYU's special teams unit as the 3rd best special teams unit in the country. So he sees punting, kicking, returning, special teams coordinator in Kelly Popinga. He sees it as the 3rd best in the country. And he's right. With their returning kicker, who Will Farron is going to be one of the best in the country. He was last year. He broke pretty much every BYU record in the kicking game. So he's going to be great. Another, for instance, he's got the linebacking unit as 17th in the entire country. That's including SEC, Big Ten, and he's got BYU 17th, which I think is probably about right. I think you got to actually probably sneak them into the top 15 if you really wanted to, with Jack Kelly and Glasker, even with Harrison Taggart leaving. That is going to be, because I think Siale Acera is ready to take that linebacking role. That is going to be a great linebacking unit. 17th, that's fair.
That's completely fair.
So he put the defensive backs room at 37th. Tell me the last time you'd ever seen BYU's defensive back room listed as the 37th or better in the country. Never. So outside of the running back position that I feel like he's probably missed on, he would not put BYU's quarterback room at 47th unless he had a great sense that Jake Retzlaff will not be in it.
And that's based on conversations with BYU coaching staff.
It's got to be, right?
Has to be. Now, look, do I think Jake Retzlaff's playing next year? Personally, right now, no, I don't. But do I also know that BYU is going to continue to investigate and do their own investigation? They'll see how the civil process plays out. And could he absolutely play? Yes, absolutely could. But on this day, early June at 1:23, if you had to put a gun to my head and say,
answer,
is he going to play? I'm going to say no. But I also know that could change very quickly.
Yeah.
So, if for whatever reason the young lady drops the case and or
it's settled,
BYU be like, hey, look, it's cleared. He gets to play. But I think right now, when you have to put out an early summer projection like Phil Steele does, then he's going to lean that direction.
Right. Phil's got it in writing. And you and I have the luxury of being on air every day.
Yes.
He puts a publication out once a year.
Correct.
And you and I get to ebb and flow and take in new information and rebuild opinion. Our opinion could be much different after June 23rd, the BYU Media Day, which I still love the BYU Media Day event.
I do too.
It's great that they do this still.
Yeah.
It could be much different after June 23rd than it is right now. But right now, it doesn't look real good when Phil Steele puts it at 47 and puts BYU outside of the top 50 and puts them as a number 7 in the Big 12. Now, the way he's ranked the Big 12 is he had 3 number 1s that include Baylor, Iowa State, and Utah. He had 3 number 4s that included, I can't remember who his number 4s were. And then he's got, I think, 3 number 7s, and BYU has put in that number 7. So he's saying BYU is going to be in that middle half of the Big 12, of the 16 teams in the Big 12. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
A team that finished
11-2
and finished number 3 in the Big 12 last year and has everybody returning except for a couple of defensive linemen.
Yeah.
They're losing, really, the substantial losses are Jacob Robinson, Tyler Batty, John Nelson, Blake Mangelson. You could go Caleb Etienne.
Yeah.
Off the offense. Darius Lassiter. And Connor Pay.
Sure.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. That's a team that
you're returning 85% of production.
Yeah. Tackles and on offense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're not going to put them
at 7.
No chance.
No.
And I was thinking about this yesterday, just how much things were whiffed. In fact, we might be able to get to this at 2:00. Just how things were missed so bad at Big 12 Media Days that I may never recover, just as an analyst, from what the overall, whatever they take, 60 some odd entries, ballots to rank the top 16, 1 through 16, just how horribly.
BYU is what, second to last? Or 14th?
14th.
14th? Yeah.
Finished 3rd. Arizona State was 15th, finished 1st.
Whoops.
Oklahoma State was 2nd,
Finished dead last.
Finished 16th. Utah was first and finished 9th.
Yeah, somewhere.
How often would they be? Would you say they'd be that wrong?
Look,
pretty wrong.
Like
that's wrong.
There's wrong, and then there's that wrong, and that was brutal.
Hold on, I think I've got it here. Let's see. ASU was picked 16th. They finished first.
Worst to first.
Iowa State was finished picked 6th. They finished second. BYU was picked 13th. They finished 5th. Colorado was picked 11th. They finished 4th. Baylor picked 12th. They finished 5th. It's almost like it was just a reverse order.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. And I don't think – I think that you just look at these things and you wad them up and throw them away.
Yep.
And I used to have a little bit more belief in it, but I can't believe how bad it missed.
Well, there's always one team that you can always plan on that's expected to do well, that does poorly, and a team that's picked poorly that does well. Like, you just knew that there's always going to be that one or two teams. It's not a whole freaking conference like we saw last year.
Yeah. Utes picked first, finished 13th.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misspoke. And Oklahoma State picked third, and they finished 16th.
All right. Good, the bad, the ugly coming up, as well as our latest member of the 60 and 60 watch list. We'll tell you who that is next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is your top 60 and 60 watch list as Hans and Scotty get you ready for the start of the 2025 college football season by highlighting the most influential players on their team for the upcoming season. And now, get the call, baby! Come on, let's go! Here's today's newest addition to the watch list.
Hey, it is our top 60 and 60 watch list as we get you ready for the start of the 2025 season. In no particular order, here's our latest edition. Let's go to Logan and welcome in Broc Lane, tight end, coming back for his senior season. Last year, 20 catches, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Bronco Mendenhall likes what he sees out of his tight end for this upcoming season.
Broc Lane is established and proven. He's a dynamic playmaker at tight end. I like him flexed. I like him in space. I remember a year ago when I'm at New Mexico, we're throwing desperation into the end zone before the half, and Utah State has him back as a deep safety. Intercepts the ball and runs with it. Really good athlete and lots of experience. Really excited about him.
There you go. Broc Lane is going to have a much larger role. The issue with him is got to stay healthy. Injuries have been an issue that he's had to deal with throughout his time at Utah State. Did not play the last 5 games of the season. So he put up 200 yards, 20 catches, and 2 touchdowns in 7 games. And so injuries kind of knocked him out of the season, but should be ready to go. Had a 4-catch, 51-yard performance in that game that Bronco just mentioned against New Mexico. Plus, he had the interception in that game, and then was unable to play after that.
That was some well thought out and some excellent info there.
Oh, Broncos was fantastic with
that
his
was
audio.
Great.
Yeah.
He talked about playing against Utah State, and they had Broc Lane back defensively?
Yeah, it was a Hail Mary end of the half. They were like the 50-yard line, and so they put in Broc Lane to essentially play safety to knock it down. Well, Broc didn't knock it down. He got an interception off Devin Dampier and had a little bit of a return on it, too.
So I'll bet Broncos got some real plans for Broc Lane.
Yeah. He said tight end, flex. They're going to use him. He's a bit of a mismatch nightmare where he's big and strong, so he can body up on a safety or a corner. You put a linebacker, you can run past him.
By the way, you're going to want to stay tuned for these 60 and 60 moments because, like, from Bronco, just some thoughts from Bronco. There were a couple players, and I mentioned this in the first segment, that you think, oh, well, they're just defensive players. Kyle's saying that there are going to be offensive players that may have a little different role and defensive players that may have a little different role that he's really excited about. And it's stuff like that I love. That's why I love this 60 and 60. Broc Lane, he'll be an exciting player and needs to get on the same page as quickly as he can with the pig farmer.
Yep. By the way, pig farmer, I'll just, no shocker here, is going to be a member. But I think there's still a bit of competition. The Arizona transfer, last name's Garcia. It's had a nice spring. So I think that I would be shocked, frankly, and this is just me speculating here, I'd be shocked if Bryson is not the starter. But I think there is good, healthy competition going on there.
All right. Good enough, man.
And that's the thing. Bronco's come in, and by the way, Bronco did not tell me that, but Bronco has said, hey, look, nobody's job is safe.
Well, 87 new players.
Yeah. So
we don't even know.
Yeah.
I would just be sitting there as a coach like, what, 87 new players? What the hell? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like on the high end for Mountain West Conference?
I don't think anybody's ever done it before. Like, I don't know if anybody's keeping track, but.
Well, Colorado had in the 80s.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, Colorado's right there, too.
Colorado had 85 or 86.
Yeah.
They're somewhere around there.
I just can't imagine, hearing your stories as a college football player and the camaraderie and the relationship you had with those guys, Hokie and those dudes.
Still my best friends.
By the time you were a junior or senior, you guys were, you've been in the battles for so long. But to just mismatch and, rip and say, okay, you and you and you and go have chemistry, ready, go.
Well, I know what that is like just from the NFL. Because that is the NFL.
Yeah.
I would, and I tell people this all the time. Every year, 30-plus individual turnover. Everybody knows the Peyton Mannings of the world. Mm-hmm. But what they don't see is 30, 35 guys turned over between draft picks, free agents, and cuts. There's a big turnover. Still not 87. Not even close.
No.
That is, you wouldn't even recognize your locker room. But every year in the NFL and every year in the AFL, it was tough because you got this onboarding of all these new guys that are fresh-faced and bright-eyed and really green that are making mistakes that make you look bad because you're like, geez, man, this guy doesn't even know what the hell he's supposed to be doing. But then you're like, well, I was that guy, and I had this guy that helped me along, so I'm going to help him along, and it's just tough.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Good, the bad, the ugly, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
How great was this last night?
Well,
this guy
I've never seen anything like it. As far as catches, have you ever seen anything like this?
Nothing close. Like back in the day, Kirby Puckett used to have some good ones. Ken Griffey Jr. had some good ones. Didn't your boy Bo? He had a couple good ones.
Yep.
But nothing like this.
So the Athletics were taking on the Angels in Anaheim. And I want to say that back wall is 10 feet. I want to say that back wall is 10 feet.
Sounds about right.
Denzel Clark, who plays middle for the Athletics, takes a deep ball middle field. In fact, it's the longest part of the field. And Denzel Clark is tracking, gets all the way to the wall, and runs up the wall, which the wall is about 10 feet high.
Yeah.
Takes 3 full steps up the padding, like he's Spider-Man. So 1, 2, 3, all the way up the padding, extends his arm as far as it can extend. He's probably about 4, maybe 5 feet over the wall. So he's at least 15 feet up, maybe more, and snags this ball from a certain home run. And the whole team turns around and is looking with their mouths open like,
yeah.
That it was one of the craziest catches I've seen in Major League Baseball.
And the guy that hit it's looking at him like, dude,
that's punk.
Why are you doing this to me?
That's punk.
You can't. That was a home run, man.
Stole it from him.
By the way, did you hear the call of it?
Nolan Chanute. Yeah, and I don't want to again.
I the whole time I was like, I kept yelling when I saw the highlight. I'm like, of all the amazing things I've ever seen,
George Steinbrenner in the box. Susie Colbert.
That's not Susie Colbert.
It is Susie Colbert.
No, it's not.
Oh,
No, she's the Monday Night Football, Susie Colbert. It's, what's her name? Susie Walden. Yeah.
oh, my bad.
No.
The call,
Denzel Clark steals a home run.
and it's like,
Roger Clemens is in George's box, and Roger Clemens is coming back. Oh my goodness gracious! Of all the dramatic things I've ever seen, Roger Clemens standing right in George Steinbrenner's box, announcing he is back. Roger Clemens is a New York Yankee.
Sorry. I just went when
yes,
I saw
I
the
did
highlight,
hear the call.
and I was like, oh, Susie Waldman.
Was it her?
No.
Oh, it sounded
like her,
Yeah.
though.
And it's like, oh man, can we please just get somebody on the call, please? The Athletics deserve it.
Yeah. All right. You know what?
We don't have to save money on everything.
No, you can spend a little bit of money.
Spend some money on your broadcast, man.
Do it right.
Like, pay the right people.
Yeah.
Get the right voices. Get the right imagination. It's the Athletics.
Well, I mean, it's the Athletics.
Well, it's still a major league team.
Yeah, they're playing out of a AAA ballpark.
Are they right now?
Yeah, in Sacramento.
This was in Angel Stadium, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. There's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
So, if we had Shador at a media day and you were to say, hey, your dad's missing camps, and he's like, oh, no, he's at home right now.
Where's your dad? Oh, he's at home.
I mean, he's dealing with a health issue. Deion Sanders is dealing with some health issues, reportedly so problematic he's missing summer camps to recover at his Texas home. So he is home, admittedly, but it's because he's not doing well.
According to his son,
Yes.
Deion Jr., he said that his dad, I guess Deion's 57 now, said, my dad's not feeling well. He was on a podcast. How's dad?
Chilling at home.
Is he? He's chilling.
No, he's not at home. He's at the hospital right now. But just got the phone with him. He woke me up earlier this morning, just talking. But he's good though.
Chilling at home. No, he's at the hospital.
I forgot how good that was. That's Shador Sanders.
Yep.
That was year one of Colorado.
Oh yeah, that was his first year.
Or was that at the Pac-12?
No. Yeah, you're right. That was Pac-12.
But it's your first year at Colorado.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both right on that. So that's Shador, and Shador sits down. I'm like, how's dad? Because Shador wasn't there. He sent his defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he's chilling at home.
Yeah,
And I sat back in my chair like, oh. And he's like, oh, no, he's at the hospital. And it's bad.
Chilling at home.
Is he? He's chilling.
No, he's not at home. He's at the hospital right now. But
Yeah. Oh, Freudian. Deion Jr. was on a podcast. He said he'll tell y'all soon enough what he's going through and what he went through when we get back into Boulder. I don't know. I'm waiting until my dad leaves. When he leaves, then I'll go. Until then, I'm going to sit here with him. But apparently, Sanders himself was on a podcast with Asante Samuel, and he said, what I'm dealing with right now is at a whole nother level, talking about his health.
Yeah.
I actually think that there might be an issue.
Well, look, the feed issues are well documented.
The infections.
And if he's dealing with more of that, then nobody should have to deal with that.
Yeah, so we're not making a joke of it, because I would hate to make a joke of it and then have something terrible happen. But it was funny because his son was like, oh, he's at home or the hospital. He's at the hospital. And, I'm sure these camps aren't something that Deion wants to do.
No, exactly.
So it is a nice time for him to be out. But I really do hope that he's okay.
Yes, and certainly hope has nothing to do with, because I think he's already down a couple toes.
Yeah.
And a guy that made his image was based on speed and athleticism, and to be at this part in his life and not be able to be as mobile as he'd like to be, it just rips your heart apart.
It does, and I'm going to tell you this. He's one of the best things the Big 12 has going for him.
Yes, absolutely. He needs to be on those sidelines.
Yes, 8.5 million people tuned into the Alamo Bowl. A lot of them tuned in to see BYU. A big bulk of them tuned in to see Shador, Papa Sanders, and the Heisman winner, Travis Hunter. That was a huge bull number.
Yep. All right. Hey, by the way, David Dwork's going to join us again coming up today at 2:05. We'll talk a little NHL Stanley Cups with him. It's all straight ahead. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Go! It's time to span the globe for the hard-hitting news you care about. Well, not really. But hey, at least we found it interesting. This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. You got you and me, brother, in our
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, make sure to join us coming up tomorrow. We will be live at Kenny J's Barbecue.
Yes!
Mouth-watering ribs, savory brisket, and all your barbecue favorites. 11610 District Drive in South Jordan.
Hey, and as a bonus, Scotty and I will invite you at 4 o'clock today because Scotty and I are going to be there.
We're going to pregame a little bit down there.
Yeah, we got to get this thing all dialed in and ready.
Yep. Ben asked me this question when we were talking about this barbecue place. What's the one thing you judge a barbecue place on? Is it? And I said brisket. Because if you can dial in good brisket, you can do everything.
How do you take that, sliced or chopped?
Well, I think sliced on the flat is that's how you judge if a guy knows how to barbecue or not.
If that's good, it's all good.
Then it's all good, yeah, because that's the hardest part to cook is your flat on a brisket. Because anybody can do the point because it's fatty and it's going to turn out good regardless. Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Packed full of flavors.
Yeah, pretty hard to screw that one up.
I always get my brisket chopped. I never take it sliced. Brisket is probably going to be your best indicator. Although, I still do love to judge a rib.
Yeah.
You know, what are their seasonings? Do they go with smoky? Do they go with a hot, a sweet? Do they go with ultra salty? Do they add sauce, no sauce? Like, there's a lot of things about this barbecue joint that Scotty and I are going to sit down at 4 o'clock today.
Oh, yeah. We're going to put them through the ringer.
We're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Yep, because we're not messing around. If we put our names on a barbecue place, it's going to be good.
Yeah, we're going to be out there. We're really excited to be out there. But come join us. We'll be out there at 4 o'clock, taste testing everything. And I also do take interest in the sides, you know, because nowadays barbecue's expensive. And, you know, they'll put 6 ounces of brisket on it, and then they'll put 12 ounces of mac salad. And that mac salad better be dang good, because you're paying a nice premium price for really good barbecue. Sides have to be able to answer
Sides
the call.
matter. Yep.
The other thing that you and I have witnessed, these barbecue places will be hot, and these new owners will be very good, and they'll smoke up the best meats, and they'll load up your plate, and then they sell to a conglomerate, and then it goes downhill.
Yeah, in a hurry.
This is not that.
Nope.
This is personally owned. This guy has put his life into it, and Scotty and I are excited to represent it.
No doubt about it. All right, time for another edition of Whole World News. Hans, I'm going to take you to Georgia. This is a television report on a young man. Look, we beat up on the youth of America. We say they're lazy. We say they're entitled. They're no good. Well, here's a young man in Georgia who, you know what? This is our kind of kid right here.
Known for his whopper of a work ethic. Shows up early, stays late, and looks at every shift like it's a privilege.
I like helping people and not expecting anything back from me. That's just me.
So you'd be working at Burger King whether you got paid or not?
Yeah. I knew like all the good I put out here was going to come back to me somehow.
It's amazing how it worked out.
Yes, sir.
This is the story of how that karma came to be.
Michael McKenna Quayerick Baker.
It was graduation night just a couple weeks ago. Michael left the ceremony and dropped by Burger King for a late meal. And that's when he noticed his colleagues were absolutely swamped with orders. At this point, most kids would have just been glad they had the night off and been on their way. But instead, Michael did what Michael does.
I wouldn't even clock in. I just put gloves on and said, what y'all need help with, basically.
So, with his sash and medals still draped around his neck, Michael hopped on the line. The whole thing caught on camera by a customer who couldn't believe her eyes.
There's not a lot of people who are like that.
This is Maria Mendoza.
13 years of school. You graduate. The last thing I would think is somebody go to work.
Maria was so impressed, she posted the video online and started a crowdfunding campaign to reward the kid for his integrity and dedication. She raised more than $200,000. Michael plans to use that money to go to trade school, become a master auto mechanic, and open his own shop.
How about that?
That's amazing.
All right, so here's a kid, shows up on his graduation day, wearing the shirt and tie and all the stuff, and he sees his guys that he's working with at Burger King, and they're slammed. So, and the video, he's got the tie on, he's got the medals and the sash and all that stuff, and he's flipping burgers.
Yeah.
And somebody sees him, and by the way, he's not clocked in. Side note to this, Burger King almost fired him for it because it's a huge violation to be working while you're not clocked in. And but he's just trying to help. I know,
just
right?
like every major corporation.
I know, exactly.
Dumb rules.
Yeah. And but fortunately, they realized what a PR nightmare that would be. And actually, they actually chipped in $10,000 to this $200,000. Wow, Burger King came up with $10K. Well, good job by you. Anyway. But I love the fact that what's the kid going to do? He's going to trade school. He wants to be an auto mechanic and open up his own shop.
What a great dream.
Yes. We should be rewarding dreams like that crazy.
That's a great dream.
Instead of, going off to...
You know how much money you need to open a shop nowadays, though? Like $200,000 wouldn't even start. Yeah. So he's got a long way to go. But you can, if he gets all of his trade work done, and he gets all of his licensing, he'll find a business loan. And what I would do is I would try to keep $150,000 of that cash that I can roll into certain assets that can get my shop up and going.
Yep.
But people will...
Maybe a rental property?
People will hear about this dream. No, that ain't where you want to go now. That's a bad investment now.
Oh.
But people with a great dream like that, good for him. I don't like the fact that we have to crowdfund every good deed. Like, he's not looking for that, though.
No.
That was somebody that just...
He wasn't asking for it.
No.
Yeah.
He would have done this and been happy if nobody even heard or know.
Exactly. That's the thing. He didn't need to be... He wasn't looking for accolades. He wasn't saying post this. It was a woman who saw it and like, you know what? This is cool. This kid needs to be rewarded.
I have been seeing a lot of these crowd-funded retirements for these older people that are door dashing. Have you seen all this? No. So, there's a lot of 80 plus, 75 plus that run DoorDash just to make a little extra cash because Social Security isn't hitting the nut or they just can't quite pull the full retirement plug. So they've been door dashing. And there's people out there that are looking for these retirees that are door dashing for the extra cash and they're crowdfunding their retirement. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Because, there was one that it's like a 92-year-old man.
Jeez. That
pulled up with a bag of Uber Eats, knocked on a door, and was just happy to be able to serve and tip or no tip. 92. still showing up at the door and knocking it, like that drives you as a man.
Yep.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does. But there's so much of that story I like. And normally, whole world news, it's somebody doing something stupid or funny. Or I thought, you know what? Let's talk about a good kid. Yeah. 18 years old, graduate, working his butt off at Burger King, wants to be an auto mechanic. All right, Hans and Scotty. Coming up, we'll talk a little NHL Stanley Cup Finals. David Dwork's going to join us straight ahead right here on The Zone.